Frank, thank you for joining us. The head basketball coach of South Carolina. He's been the National Coach of the Year. He's coached in the Final Four. He's one of the most thoughtful and smart people I know. Frank, what have you learned, if anything, about yourself during this quarantine?
Probably sounds crazy because it's everything I do talk about, is that I've actually done a real crappy job as a dad to engage my children in conversations and kind of understand just how disconnected I really was from how they go about their daily lives. And so my challenge here lately has been to re-engage my 14-year-old daughter, to let her know that I actually exist, that I'm not a text message. I'm not I'm not a character at a basketball game that she comes to support. It's been an interesting month, and I'm extremely happy that this has happened. Excuse me.
Wow.
I'm happy that I've been jacked up in the house.
You just gave an example of why I have so much respect and affinity for you. You're one of the most honest people I've ever met. But some people watching may not know this. Frank and I go all the way back to my days at the Kansas City Star. Frank becomes a head coach at Kansas State. And the reality is, at least I can say this on my end, initially, I did not like Frank Martin. I don't think we liked each other initially. And so, Frank, when was the moment where you said, hey, man, maybe Whitlock's not such a bad guy?
Marcellus, imagine that. I just got in a long line of people that didn't like Jason Whitlock. But no,
right.
The beginning was interesting. Yeah, the beginning was interesting because I get named head coach, and all of a sudden, you weren't alone, Jason. There was a long line of folks in the media that just attacked me and never gave me a chance and for any of them to ever have a cup of coffee or an adult beverage with me. You're a bum. You're not going to do any well. And it's okay. But I know this, you had a great relationship with my president. And you guys, he used to tell me all the time that, like, Frank, Jason Whitlock's a really good guy. I said, well, I wish he would write that way, but it's time went on, and I'm telling you where everything changed, Jason. A lot of folks in the media, they put their opinions, they write their stories, right or wrong, they go on to the next one. You came up to me and you said, hey, Frank, I got to tell you, I was wrong. And it doesn't mean I'm going to write nice things about you, but I just want you to know that what I wrote was wrong. And as a man, what can you ever ask from somebody else that takes ownership for whatever they thought was right or wrong? Now, when did I turn the page and get you on board?
Listen, man, at the end of the day, I'm always about the work. And it was your third year at K-State, and you took Jacob Pullen and Dennis Clemente and made a great basketball team. And it just blew me away. And then it becomes like, holy cow, this guy knows exactly what he's doing. He's a tremendous coach. And so my respect went through the roof. And you're right, John Weefald, the president of K-State, also helping to open my eyes about your character and what type of person you were. And, from there, we were just off and running. Marcellus, go ahead and jump in.
Yeah. Now, Frank, look, you have a reputation. You're fiery, in-your-face type of personality as a coach. Modern-day Bobby Knight, some would say. Do you like those comparisons, and are they accurate?
I like the X and O comparison. Heck, you can compare my basketball coaching ability to Coach Knight's, but at the end of the day, I kind of stand on my own 2 feet, Marcellus. That's why I respect you guys the way I do. You guys don't allow anyone to put you guys in a box as to what you should be or say or act, and you're willing to stand up and represent yourselves on this great show. And, I grew up in South Florida. I'm a football guy, so I bring a football mentality to basketball. And that's the way I was coached when I was a kid growing up. And I ended up coaching for 16 years in the same neighborhood that I grew up in, and I still lived in it. So to me, it's about coaching people, not coaching the score of the game, being totally invested in helping young people move forward. And then the last thing I'll say to all that is, I used to like it when coaches, we all were allowed to show our personalities because we recruit these kids. So we understand who they are. They understand who we are as coaches. And they choose to come play for us. So I'm not coaching anybody else's players. I'm not coaching people that see me on TV. I'm committed to the kids that we coach and we recruit, and they're committed to me, and it's a marriage. We all understand each other. So I used to like it when coaches weren't cookie cutters and we all had a personality and everyone was willing to show it and be themselves.
Now, Frank, I can see your love for football. You can see the helmets behind you. And as you said, you've been coaching for so long, over 5 different decades. How have you had to adjust your coaching style over the years?
That's where it gets interesting. And I think this is the biggest mistake coaches make is they get the opportunity to move forward in the business and get a job like the one I got or another university and they start conforming to public opinion to keep their job. And I think that's the biggest mistake anyone can ever make, because what gets us to this place is our ability to connect with the people that we're coaching, not appease the people that have public opinions on the inside, on the outside. Where I've had to adapt my coaching is the players. Well, the players don't learn like they used to learn, and they don't care how I learned. They don't live in my generation and my era. But it's my job to understand how this young generation learns. Anytime you can figure out how someone learns, then you got a chance to grab their heart. Why? Because then they genuinely know that you're committed to helping them. You're not worried about the score of the game. You're worried about helping them. And when you can grab someone's heart, then you can challenge them. Then you can force them to grow. Then every once in a while I can have that moment, because I'm an emotional guy where I kind of go a little bonkers. And then, when the game ends, my wife absolutely annihilates me. And then my mother calls me and says, "Why were you so mean to that young man?" Then I'll go in the next day and I take ownership in front of the team. And then it's for a moment that I wish maybe wasn't there, but it's all part of it. And, my biggest adjustment has been trying to learn how these young kids learn today. They don't care that they used to paddle me if I missed a layup. They don't care that we used to run 6 miles every day for whatever. They want to know that I understand them. And that's the biggest, because this generation, they have so much information. I mean, all I knew is whatever my mother or my coach told me. I had no idea about anything else. This generation, as soon as you say something, they correct you because they go Google it and get the right answer.
And, Coach, I'm glad you brought that up, because one of those kids potentially could have been this NBA sensation and collegiate sensation, Zion Williamson, grew up in your backyard right there in South Carolina. How close were you in South Carolina of getting Zion in that sweepstakes?
Yeah, I think it's better answered by him, because he would know. But we were in there. I was the last coach they allowed in the home. I was in his home for 3 hours, 48 hours before he made the decision. What an incredible human being. He became a YouTube sensation because of these dunks that we're all watching right now. But his ability to understand how to coexist with others, to understand how to win, who he is as a kid, his willingness to accept instruction. His father's a coach. His mother was a teacher, or is a teacher. It's just a great family, great young man. And the best part about all of it is, and I think the world's starting to see this a little bit, how humble and how hungry he is. He's hungry for information, and he's humble that his teammates love him, and everyone that comes around him loves him. He's an unbelievable human being.
Frank, people think I'm crazy when I say this, but maybe you won't. I saw Michael Beasley step on the Kansas State's campus, and to me, he's as talented as any basketball player I have ever seen. As much natural basketball talent as I have ever seen. Compare him to anybody. Am I crazy for thinking that?
Absolutely not. It's he's by far the best one-and-done season of any player in the one-and-done era. Statistically, we had 9 first-year players, 7 of which were freshmen. You had a first-year head coach in me, who I look back now, and I was useless as a coach compared to what I think I know now. He's unbelievable, and just a great, great kid that was trying to find himself. And he just, we just spoke about 2 weeks ago. He's still in that journey to completely be at peace with who he is. But what I know is this. When everyone on the outside world now is trying to say, he failed as the second pick of the draft or this or whatever, didn't meet expectations, I know this. He's a heck of a father to his children. And that to me means more than any basketball accolade he can ever get. And he's learned that. And that, but from a talent standpoint, hey, Whit, I took him out of a game against Nebraska one time. He had scored 17 consecutive points. And I took him out of the game. When he walks by me, he goes, "What'd I do?" I said, "Nothing. I'm just tired of hearing your name. Go sit down for a little while." So, and he just started laughing. He thought that was the greatest thing of all time.
Hey, Coach, we're running out of time, but because I know you're a great motivator, and we had Urban Meyer do this last week, and he did a great job, could you give sports fans a bit of a pep talk? We're all a little depressed right now because of this coronavirus.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep your heads up. I think the one thing we've all learned during the last 4 weeks is how much sports means to all of us in this society. All of us involved in sports understand the necessity that we have to coexist. It teaches us how to get along with each other. It teaches us how to not look at each other like being different, but want to understand each other so we can grow from one another. So give us some time. It's just a matter of time. This too shall pass. The reason it shall pass is because sports teaches us we come together during difficult times. And we've done that. We're starting to pay attention. Our great leaders will find a vaccine. And it's just a matter of time before we're lining up and we're going to be in front of each other and giving you fans everything that you want. And it's going to be a much better understanding from us. Because the one thing I've learned during this time that I never want to hear anyone say that players are not paid enough money. Because what they bring to our families, our communities, our homes is unbelievable, and it's a journey that we all want to be a part of. So we'll see you guys soon, and can't wait to get back on the sideline and provide some relief to everyone that watches.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Speak for Yourself, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.